Hello my beautiful little Moglets. So today we are checking out the buffs and nerfs, which are scheduled for the 8th of August, so that's in about 2 weeks or so. Also these crazy changes to the summon system, Moonlight hero changes, memory imprints, and skill renewals by the end of July. So we should be getting another developer note quite soon, but for now let's just focus on these buffs and nerfs because they are quite interesting. Let's start with what they say here. It says we are focusing on 2 areas when it comes to hero balancing. First, we are searching for a solution to the meta freeze due to some overpowered Moonlight heroes. We are deliberately going through internal steps to increase the diversity of heroes in the meta and are trying our best to have it revised as fast as possible. Also, a thorough verification process will be added to prevent this situation from occurring again. Secondly, underperforming heroes will be regularly rebalanced. Before the balance patch we had in June, we promised to have regular hero rebalancing every 6 to 8 weeks. We hope this upcoming balance patch gives you better experience in growing heroes and creating your own strategy and tactics. Whoops-a-daisy. But yeah, we are getting a buff for Luluca. Thank the heavens. I love her so much, but she is just a little weak. So, Wild Wave. This is her basic attack, I believe. Before, just dealing damage proportional to the amount of enemies' lost health. Now, 50% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns, and then the same, but that's amazing already. Pretty decent chance for a 2-turn defense down on basic. Hell yes, she is already sounding really good for some PvE areas. She could actually be amazing for Wyvern already to replace Tauronor. Then we got Wave of Vengeance, which is an 85 instead of 75% chance for her AoE defense down, making her actually better than AoE Bellona, at least for first turn Bellonas, because first turn Bellonas only go up to 80%, hers is now 85. And instead of damage dealt going up, her attack will go up, meaning every other skill will also have increased damage and not just this one. I think these are definitely some pretty nice buffs, especially the fact they added on the 50% defense down chance on her basic. That's really, really cool. Oh yeah, and also since she's getting an attack buff now, the barrier granted by Rekko's blessing will be increased as well. It says not only does the skill Wave of Vengeance get stronger the more it's used, but Luluca gets stronger as well. That's really nice. So apparently she is actually just meant for longer battles as well, but with an 85% AoE defense break now, I can see her being used for cleave in arena as well now. I mean, 75 was still decent, but 85 is actually quite a lot better. We also got a buff for normal Baal and Cezanne. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Probably not, as I say pretty much nothing right. But damage increased by 30% for his Dark Cloud. Damage dealt proportional to debuffs increased by 50%. So just extra damage there. I don't think there were that many people using normal Baal and Cezanne, so good that he's getting buffs. Last Requiem has its cooldown reduced by 2 turns, which is just 3 now. That's a pretty significant drop there. So nothing too crazy there, just extra damage, but 30% is quite a big jump, and then 50% more proportional to debuffs seems like quite a big deal as well. Also got Ludwig here, which I don't know much about, but again, I don't see him at all, so he probably deserves a buff. Basically, the only difference in his Moonlight Blow is that he does not need to kill an enemy to get invincibility for a turn, he just will get invincibility now. And Call of the Full Moon basically just got to change to its defense penetration. Now it'll always penetrate defense by 20%, but an additional 30% if he's invincible. Before, he had to be invincible to get any defense penetration, and it was still the same amount as you can get after. So again, a pretty nice buff. I don't know what really 1 turn of invincibility means, since I don't think he's much of a tank. He might not get hit anyway during that turn. I guess you could do Moonlight Blow and then Call the Full Moon, get a 50% defense penetration. It is an AoE, so AoE defense penetration, I don't know, I haven't really seen that around, so pretty interesting. We also got Tenebria here. Only thing that changed here is she now has a 50% instead of a 35% chance to put them to sleep for a turn. That is quite significant though, jumping from 35 to 50%, and when she does put them to sleep, she gets another 50% combat readiness, so yeah. She also got a buff to Nightmare, another AoE 85% chance def down, and she'll also increase her attack. Basically just increased chance for those debuffs. Again, nothing crazy, but still good. Oh, and the cooldown has been reduced as well for Nightmare. We also got Leo here. Fox Hunt now has a 50% instead of a 30% chance to use Sparrow Dive, which I would assume is his first skill, because there's no way Fox Hunt is his first skill with a 100% chance to turn defense down. And then his chance to AoE stun, 2-turn AoE stun, 75%. Damn, used to be 50, now it's 75. Again, just chance increases, but still, pretty good chance increases. Also got some buffs for Roman. I've been thinking about raising him actually. Might really think about it now. Let's see. So the effectiveness of gravitation basically got doubled. 50% chance to decrease combat readiness by 20%, 4 times now instead of twice. It still doesn't sound that powerful since it's on a 50% chance. I would have much rather had that just 100% chance to decrease them by 20% twice, but that's just me. I mean, you know, it's more RNG, but still an average of 40% combat readiness reduction. Could be pretty good. I'm just definitely of the type where I like combat readiness increasers because that can't be resisted. Event Horizon basically just got an extra effect. Combat readiness increases by an additional 30% when the enemy is buffed. So damn, you could potentially get 80% combat readiness when you use Event Horizon. You know, having Dizzy's artifact I believe would get you to 100. So you could then use gravitation if you wanted to, as long as they're buffed, but then he can dispel all buffs. Damn. Ooh! One I finally have, Ricorous. I have like 6 of them. Decreased chance for 2 turns. I think that is his basic. Effect chance increases by 50% when the caster is granted increased speed. I'm not too familiar with Ricorous. I will have to assume he gives himself a speed buff somehow, or I don't know, that seems kind of random. But I mean, that would give him a 100% chance. I gotta check if Quick Pierce is his basic, cause that'd be kind of crazy then. That is his basic, and he does give himself increased speed. It's just he would have to do that first. I guess he could have a 100% chance. I don't know, like also if you have a speed buffer on your team that goes before Ricorous and can keep that up, you know? I mean, damn, that is a 6-turn cooldown though. I don't know, pretty interesting though. He's, I think, the only one we have that has a 100% defense down chance, or a potentially 100% chance to decrease defense on his basic. Oh, and of course, Captain Ricorous, the awakened version. So of course, Quick Pierce, same buff, but Supreme Spear got healing increased by 100 and damage increased by 41%. That sounds kind of a lot. Skill tree gets more health and defense, so yeah, I don't know, seems pretty good now. I still don't know if I'm gonna raise him because I don't really like the idea of light and dark tanks. Also got a buff to Raz, which is pretty funny. So basically Sword of the Air is becoming awakened without it being awakened, and then he's getting a new awakened skill, which is X/. Attacks with the sword, 30% chance to dispel a buff. Damage dealt increased proportional to the caster's max health. Does anyone actually use Raz anymore? I don't know if that's going to make people use him now. Dang it. Oh, well, X/ does seem to be his basic skill, and a 75% chance to dispel a buff can actually come in handy in some cases. So it says these adjustments are mainly for heroes which are used for PvE content and will be updated on August 8th, 2 weeks from now. We are very cautious about adjusting PvP related heroes, and details will be shared on July 31st, along with future balancing plans and policies. Adjustment of heroes, especially the nerfing of heroes, will be long enough as to receive feedback from heirs, but buffs will be updated as fast as possible. Adjustment details for the following PvP heroes will be released on July 31st. Buffs: Bazaar, Euphina, Lilibet, Lilca, ML Koli. Nerfs: ML Ara, ML Baal, ML Vildred, and ML Armin. So I was definitely expecting these two, ML Baal and ML Vildred, because they are super overpowered. Armin is also super overpowered. I actually don't think Ara is on the same level, like after really thinking about it, than Baal and Vildred. She does have really bad things, like, you know, stun and burn at the same time, AoE, with I think 100% chance as well, you know, but ultimately you really just have to outspeed her. You can't really outspeed Baal unless you have, I guess, auxiliary lots. I think that overrides it, but other than that, he'll just keep increasing his combat readiness until he actually attacks. And then Vildred, if you outspeed him and kill him, he's gonna revive with 100% combat readiness and probably destroy your entire team, you know? Armin, big shield lady, invincibility. I think she has like a built-in Arius as well. It does say, players will be able to exchange for a Moonlight hero of an equivalent star grade if a Moonlight hero they own is nerfed. We will also take into account the memory imprint level. So you can literally just choose. I'm pretty sure they're giving out selectors for this. So if you have one of these, you can have your choice of 5-star Moonlight hero. Maybe a 4-star will get nerfed as well. Hopefully one I have so I can finally get my lots. But yeah, it is going to be a touchy subject. Like, how are they going to nerf Vildred, for example, without completely taking back the buff they gave him? I totally agree he is OP as hell right now, but even if they dial back his like combat readiness boost to 80% or 90%, it's still not really the same, you know? He doesn't get that guaranteed turn. Baal and Sezan just would not need to get all that combat readiness when that thing's off cooldown. You know, I mean, maybe a little bit, but not that much. Ara, I think they could actually leave alone. She is, she's powerful, but like not super broken OP like those two are. Really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Lilibet as well. She's another one I have 6-starred and haven't used besides for my review because she's just, I don't know, like, especially if they're going to nerf Vildred now. Lilibet's going to become even more useless because like Vildred is like the only thing Lilibet was really good for is deleting the Vildreds and they don't revive. So if they're going to nerf Vildred to not even need Lilibet as a counter, then who cares? But yeah, I typically don't like speculating too much, just kind of giving my initial thoughts. I suppose that'll actually do it though. Luluca's buff is actually really nice. Basic attack has a decent chance to decrease defense, you know. This got buffed up 10%, now it's even higher than Bellona's first usage of her AoE defense down, and the fact she increases her attack instead of just the damage dealt of this skill is nice as well. The rest seem to have pretty decent buffs as well, like all around. I don't know how many of them are actually going to be like really good and worth using over your other raised heroes, but make sure to tell me what you think about these buffs and the eventual coming of those nerfs down there. Make sure to make me think about that in the comments down below. Leaving a like if you do enjoy is always greatly appreciated as well. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.